Empower, support, love. That's true beauty.
Allowing God to use me to inspire others.
She is clothed with strength and dignity.
Welcome to Sis to Sis. Hey everyone, it's me, Jamie. Welcome back to our channel. We're so happy that you came back for another episode. Please make sure to hit the like button as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as follow us on our Facebook page and our Instagram page at Sistosis1988. So it is the month of February. So in honor of Black History Month, we want to take the time and recognize Della Reese. Della Reese was the first Black woman to host her own show, The Della Reese Show. Thank you so much, Miss Della Reese, and I want you to rest in peace. Now today, we will be talking about a very popular and sensitive subject, especially for millennial women. What is that subject? Being single and unmarried. Let the eggs start to fry. Yeah. Being single and unmarried. That is what we're going to be talking about today. Let's start it off. So here I am. I'm 38 years old. I am single and I am unmarried. I have no children. I have four-legged children. At this point in my life, as far as being single, I would have to say that I am comfortable with it. I won't just say okay. I would say I'm comfortable with it. Being single right now for me is allowing me to focus on my businesses, get my businesses better structured, building relationships with people that I hire, my networking. I'm able to network better. And the reason why I'm saying that I'm comfortable is because when you're in a relationship with someone or you're trying to stay in a relationship with someone, sometimes that can be stressful. You're trying to juggle these things that you have going on. If you are working, you have a career going, you have a stressful job, or you have a business that you're trying to run. And then when all of that is over, during the day, you go home in the evening and you have this person that, you may or may not have this good relationship with, and you're trying to keep them happy, make sure they're not feeling neglected. So right now for me, I'm comfortable with it. I'm okay with it because it's working for me. Now, I do attend a lot of events. When I'm at those events, there are men all over the place, okay? Men all over the place. But when I'm there, I'm business oriented, I'm serious. I'm gonna use the word and say I don't make eye contact. I keep my face mug on. I keep my business mug on. I try to make it very, very clear that that's not why I'm here. Keep the flirting and all that. I mean, I have really got that door shut, locked, and chained up right now. I introduced myself because in the industries that I have chosen to be, one of them is trucking. Trucking is still a very predominantly male business right now. So these networking events that I'm going to, these men are there, but I keep it business. I introduce myself. I don't give them my phone number. I give them a business number. So if they call out the 5, they're going to get the business voicemail. And we will return your call on the following business day. That's what they will get. That works for me. What about you guys? What about you, Calandra? Is it working for you? Is it not working for you?
Well, I would say right now, being unmarried, it is being unmarried, but also I've been in long-term relationships as well too. It is sometimes hard to find a balance between running multiple businesses and then also, like you say again, I have a son as well too, taking care of my son, and then also making sure that whoever it is that I'm dating, I'm also keeping them happy and not neglecting, them also. I will say that the door is definitely still open for me to get married. I definitely have faith, and I know that God will let me know when that's time and when that's going to be right, for me as well. So the door is still open, and I do know that one day for sure God will bless me and I will be married.
Yeah, let me fix that up. I will say, I said the door is shut on me being single. Now, being married, The reason I'm not addressing that is because I'm single, so obviously the married part isn't there. But I'm willing to, if somebody comes along and I see that they're serious. We got so many people playing games, men and women. You got so many people playing games nowadays, not serious. And at the age that we are, it's not a baby daddy situation anymore. You are meeting men that have been married previously. They have been married previously, and for the most part, they don't want to do it again. They don't want to do it again. They just want them a long-term girlfriend, which is unfair for a woman like me who has never been married and I don't have children. It's not my fault you've already been married and you have kids. That has nothing to do with me. But if you are choosing to pursue me and you are choosing to continue to build, to build a relationship with me, and then even one day propose to me and marry me, you're going to have to entertain and really play that part of being another husband again. And when you're in that relationship with that person, you're having to deal, not like I say, no more baby daddy, no more baby mama stuff. Now you're dealing with an ex-wife or an ex-husband, and you're dealing with, it used to be a day it was just child support. Now it's child support, alimony, properties they organize. It's all kind of different stuff. And when you already a person, when you're single and you have a lot going on, bringing that in and dealing with somebody that has all that going on, and everybody wants to put it like, oh, I'm divorced, it ain't nothing like that. That's lies. Anytime that is children involved, that person is going to remain there. But for me, I would say I would entertain it if the right person came along. But for right now, I'm comfortable. What about you, Toya?
I'm okay. It just depends on the day that you ask me. Like sometimes I'm okay with it, sometimes I'm not. It's just because I really would like to be married and have a family, have kids, have that whole package. It just hasn't happened yet. I still hope one day it will happen sometime soon. But right now, I mean, it's okay. But like you said too, it's kind of hard when you're a woman and you're bringing yourself to the table, but then most of the men, they have all of this luggage that they bring in to the table. So it can be very challenging sometimes. I even had a guy walk off on me because he said, "Do you have any kids?" I was like, "No." And he was like, "And you want some?" I said, "Yes." And he literally walked off because he was like, he already had kids. He didn't want any more. So like you said, that is an issue that a lot of us are running into. They've been married, they already got kids, and they don't want to do it again. So where does that leave a person like me who's never been married, who desire to have kids, and most of the men our age, in our age range, they don't want to do it again. So
well, I would respect him though. I respect him for walking off and not continuing to waste your time.
I do. I laughed. I thought it was hilarious that he did. I said, is that what I gotta do to make these men walk away from me?
I want kids.
Want a baby.
I want kids. I want kids.
Yes, like he didn't say bye. He literally about face and walked off. So yes, bye. That's what he did. That's what he did. So it can be discouraging. It can be discouraging sometimes. So I could get, it just depends on, like I said, when you ask me, some days I'm cool with it, some days I'm not. I struggle the most is being transparent around the holidays. The holidays is so hard for me, especially Christmas, because it just, it's about family, and I always picture myself, having the family and the kids with the matching pajamas, and we doing all the making our own traditions and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't have that. So that's like a very, very, very hard time for me, just being honest. So yeah, it just depends. It just depends.
Well, and to kind of extend on that subject, let's do this too. Let's give a little bit about our backgrounds and talk about, was marriage even in your life? It's been in my life all my life. My parents have been married 40 years. They've been together 40 years. My grandmother's married, my aunts, even my cousins. So marriage is something that I've seen all my life, and I've seen all phases of the marriage. I've seen from the wedding day until after the first baby, after the third baby. I've seen all phases of it. So if you want to say, a lot of people think that most of the time when you are not married yourself, that is because you most likely, you don't know how to be a wife, or you don't know. I have quite a few couples in my family. If I want to say, no, I'm seeing, if you just want me to mock on what I've been seeing all my life, then I've seen a marriage. But it's just that seeing that and growing up with it, made me, when I got older, honestly, it kind of was a good and bad thing. Most of my relationships in my younger life were long term. And I mean long, just staying with a person. My longest relationship was 10 years. Thought that was going to be my husband, but the wisdom in me and the choices and the future I was looking at, it just seemed like that may have not been a good idea, and it may not have worked. So I did not marry him. I could very much well have. If I'd have went by my background and did what was right, according to my family, I'd have married him. But it just wasn't right. Things were going on in relationship that wasn't healthy, and that I didn't think we were going to need. Okay, let's just ignore all those unhealthy things we have going on and just get married, because we've been together for so long. I knew better than that, even at a young age, even in my 20s. So I remember a specific time, though. I was growing up, I was a lovable child. My mom is not a very kissy, huggy person, but my father is. Even today, 38 years old, I can sit in my daddy lap now, hug him, kiss him for hours. It wouldn't be a problem. But my mom, on the other hand, when I was growing up and stuff, and she would be in the kitchen and stuff, cooking, washing dishes, whatever, I just go in there, go behind her, grab her, and just mommy, kissy, kissy, kissy. And I remember one specific day, she was doing all this. Girl, go on, girl, go on. Your husband gonna keep you pregnant and barefoot. You like kissing too much. You like hugging too much. And I tease her about that today. Look at me today, mama. Where am I? And you see, I got shoes on my feet and I'm not pregnant. You know what I mean? It's a big joke. It's funny. Yeah, I guess maybe I should have said that. I said, no, mama, you okay. But it was just what was taught. Like, one day you're gonna be married, one day you're gonna have a husband. Growing up, people always tell you men don't like this, men don't like a nasty woman, men don't like a woman that's mean. Men don't like a woman that's ignorant. All of that lies. I've seen plenty married men to mean, ignorant women who do not clean up, can't pay them to clean up. Women who do not cook. I do all that. I do the cooking, I clean, I do it all. It has nothing to do with the marriage. Me and my mom and my dad, we go back. Mama used to tell me that a man won't marry a nasty woman. I've seen some nasty women.
They be the main ones married.
They be who be married.
Amen.
That's who be
married. Here we go. House clean and stuff, cute.
House clean,
not married.
Things like that, because that's when growing up, that's what, as an 80s child, I think even 70s, that's what you told. You told, keep your house clean, keep your meal cooked, and that's what keep your husband. We know those are lies. But as of today, it's all right. I'm comfortable. I do all those things, and now I know as a woman, it doesn't matter if you cook, it doesn't matter if you clean. If the man loves you and wants to marry you and wants you to be his wife, guess what? That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna marry you. That's just period. But as far as my background, if I just wanted to be in the rest of, with the rest of my millennial sisters and just be married, and to be married, because it's quite a bit of that. People just being married just to be able to say that they're married.
I don't want to do that one.
Because they want the Facebook, social media, Christmas pajama matching, and they want the family. So because most of the time that stuff be,
it's fake. They're happy on social media.
It's lies. It's just,
but behind closed doors.
For me, when I see those things, okay, Valentine's Day is coming up. It's gonna be hundreds and hundreds of sisters on Facebook and Instagram, taking photos of a bed, husband that came, put ropes. I don't feel no kind of way, because I'm saying to myself, all that could be a lie. And all of it could not be. I mean, it's some good, nice relationships out there built on foundation. But I don't feel so. I just think, oh, that's sweet, but I don't get in my feelings about any of it. The pajamas and things. I see those things and I say, that's cute, but I don't feel a kind of way. All the I don't feel no kind of way. It's kind of like, if that's going to happen for me, it's going to happen. It'll happen, and I'll join the crew. I'll join the rest of the world, and I'll put our match pajamas, and I won't be doing the Valentine's stuff. I want every Valentine's Day, I will not be, putting a picture on Facebook or so, Instagram of the roses, my husband and me and all that. But I know what you mean. That's what I call a social pressure, but that's another subject. But what about you guys? What about you, Toya? What would you say your background taught you as far as being married or one day being a married woman?
See, I don't really think I was necessarily groomed to be married. I was groomed to be independent, strong, take care of yourself, have your own stuff. I was always told that, men, they will come later. Don't worry about those men, they will come later. They lied to me because I done did all the things my mom and my aunties told me. There ain't no man in sight. Where they at? My mama told me the men will always be there, and they're not always here. No. So I don't think that I was necessarily groomed for marriage. But I do feel like the men in my family definitely told me how to be, like what men look for, how to be a lady, how to be the woman that a man want to take home to be his mom, be classy, not trashy, so I did learn a lot of things growing up with being close with my uncles. But I wouldn't necessarily say that I was groomed and prepared for, being married. I wouldn't say that. So I definitely had to kind of learn things along the way about relationships and being a partnership with somebody and compromising and, all of that stuff. It's definitely something I have kind of had to learn as I grow. So yeah. But
what
I just genuinely.
No, go ahead, finish.
No, I was just gonna say that I just want like real love. I want it to be genuine. That's all I want. Nothing more, nothing less. You ain't gotta be the finest, you ain't gotta have the most money. I just want a man to love me from his core. That's all I want. Like
me and only me. I'm it. Yes, Every day you wake up, I'm it. That's it.
I'm it. I'm enough. I'm his forever woman. Yeah. Like my auntie told me recently that I need to find my forever man. So I want to be that forever woman to whoever my forever man is.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Calandra? What would you say your background? Do you think your background has anything to do? Did you see a lot of marriage or not a lot of marriage? Do you think you were groomed to be a wife?
So I too would have to agree with Toya. I come from a single family, home. And so within that home is really pretty much for the most part, it was my grandmother and my mom. My mom, she was married off and on, a couple different times. My grandmother during that time period, she was not married. And actually what she taught me always was, like Toya had said as well too, was to be, independent. And really, honestly, she would kind of man bash a little bit as well, which I do think that does play a part in, sometimes does play a part in my thinking of how I see men sometimes, but yet at the same time, I'm a very independent thinker though at the same time. So even though that's my grandmother and I praise pretty much everything that she says, sometimes I'm like, kind of like, maybe when I was younger, as a teenager, I was kind of set on that, exactly what she would say, man is going to do this to you, X, Y, and Z, so on and so forth. But as I grew older, I knew and understood, okay, wait a minute. I don't think grandma was really all the way right with this situation here, So I had to kind of really check myself and think about that. So really where I'm at this point in my life is really just take my time and take my time and take one day really at a time. And when the time is right, it will happen. I will also say as well too, like with my background, far as with my dad, like was saying again as well, I wasn't groomed even by my dad. I wasn't necessarily groomed on like how to expect a man to treat me. My dad taught me those things honestly later on in life, like probably after I was maybe about 20 or something like that, started having like relationship issues, and he started kind of sharing different things with me. And I'm like, wow, boy, Dad, I wish you would have shared some of these things with me before I went through some of the headaches that I did go through. But I'm still very grateful that those things were shared with me. But however, no, back when I was coming up as a child, I didn't see a whole lot of healthy marriages. I was around some marriage, but I wasn't around a lot of healthy marriages. And I do still think that plays a big part in who I am today. But it has also, that's why I believe, because I have been proposed to more than one time, but that's why I am not married, because that is a very serious deal to me. And when I say yes and say I do, it's I do, for life. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's all I know. It's not no hardly. I think my grandparents was like 50 plus years. My aunts, everybody in my family is married. Most of my cousins, it's a few of us, it's the recent of us, but for the most part, most of my cousins, all of them were married in their 20s, mid-20s, soon as they got out of college. Or most of the time they met their husband in college, or once they got out of college and they got their career going, they met their husbands within their career. But it wasn't a lot of this single woman stuff that Jamie is on. It's not a lot of that going on in my family. Most of the women that have success, they have success and they have
We went to the wrong college. That's what the problem was. We went to the wrong school.
Oh, maybe so. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but like I say, that has allowed me to see all types of marriages. The middle class marriage. I've got some uncles and aunties that have money. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. So I guess grooming, I would say yes, but choices, what that allowed me to do is say yes to this, nope, yes to that, nope, yes to that, no. And I'm not taking it back, and I'm not apologizing for it. I think that was good for me. That's what worked for me. What about like the men, your choices, the like what Calandra, just kind of bouncing off what Calandra just said, as far as being treated, when you felt like a mistreatment in your life. I remember experiencing a bad mistreatment in my life. I had never been done like that by a guy, but I remember my reaction. For you guys, the first time you would say that, being mistreated by a guy you were calling yourself being in a relationship with, how did you react to that? Did you accept it? Did you not accept it?
No, because like I said, my uncles have always treated me like a little princess. So I'm gonna be honest, I can't even handle a man changing his tone or raising his voice at me, because I never experienced a man talking to me crazy, or saying anything negative to me. So the first sign somebody treated me bad, it's just kind of like,
Okay. So your wires are up. So even now, from that point up until now, your wires is up, So I think that would be a positive as far as being single and being raised, the way you're saying you're being raised as far as it came to relationships, because we have so many women that didn't have any men in their life to tell them anything about what a man would do. You know what I mean? What about you, Calandra?
I really don't recall the first time that I was mistreated, but I would say my tolerance level is pretty high, though. Not sure if that's honestly a good thing or a bad thing, because I know what I bring to the table also as well too, good and also bad. So when you're dealing with me, I know you're dealing with a firecracker as well too. So just because someone speaks to me in a certain way, that doesn't mean I'm just going to immediately, dismiss them, either. So I would say I don't recall the first time that I was mistreated, but I would say usually it does normally take a lot for me to pick up and say, okay, this is it, but I will usually let you know, okay, look, you're not going to disrespect me. This is not going to happen, which usually causes them to bring their tone down. But usually I'm not going to just pick up my things. Okay, this relationship is over, because if that's the case, somebody can do the same to me as well too.
Yeah. I would say I guess it depends. I think the disrespect, going back with Toya, like taking one from Calandra, disrespect, tone, and I'll just use those as disrespect and tone. Now for me, I'll give a story. I was almost about to graduate. I guess I must get through with high school, grown, I was out with a guy, out on Miller, I wasn't too far from the house. And we were arguing, and I don't even know what the argument was about, but I was about to get ready to graduate high school. I could cuss. It ain't like he could go, so I'm gonna tell your mama what you said, So we were going back and forth, and baby, I was getting it to him, He couldn't do nothing with me, that cussing stuff, baby, let me tell you, you talking about grooming, I got it. Okay, so at 18, I got this mouth, and I'm going back, and I was so nonchalant with it. I wasn't high-tempered as he was. And with him noticing my tone and how, nonchalant I was, I think he got offended. And I remember him he grabbed me by my shirt, and brought me over to him, I guess, to win over the argument. And I remember my heart began to race. I remember my eyes were sore that night because I had him so bucked, because I was in such shock that he grabbed me, and I grabbed that wheel, and we were spinning down the street. And so he finally let go, and he was looking. I remember, don't ever touch me again. I remember I was 18. I know so many other little girls that were in that type of situation. And after that began the abuse cycle. You know, if he can holler at you and he can cuss at you and he can disrespect you, now he can put his hands on you, he'll do it again. Needless to say, I didn't talk to him. I think I scared him, if anything. I think the goal was for him to try to scare me, but I didn't scare him. But I think that just had a lot to do with my bringing up. I being told, I have a lot of uncles too. We both, all three of us do, by the way, people. All three of us come. We are girls with men have been in our life all our life. Toya got a bunch of uncles. Calandra got a bunch of uncles. I got a bunch of uncles. I mean, a bunch. And we all were like little princesses, and we were all spoiled. You know what I mean? Now relationships and stuff like that. I wouldn't say that the men in my family talked to me about relationships, but they definitely told me don't let him. Definitely don't let him put his hands on you. He put his hands on you. You know,
that's
right.
He put your hands on you. But needless to say, they didn't know. I didn't know. You know, I didn't know that that's a reaction that I would have. You know, to someone. Don't let them disrespect you. You know, don't you let them disrespect your parents. I have met so many women, even of our age, that their spouses, their boyfriends, or their husbands are so disrespectful to their family members. That's a no-no. You know what I mean? And that's a no-no for you to disrespect him. So I think with that situation and that reaction that I gave, it was just of what I seen. Don't you let nobody put their hands on you. Don't you let nobody disrespect you. You know, I think I took that with me. I think all of us have a good foundation. We all three have different reasons. You know, a lot of people, you know, say the birds of a feather flock together. What do y'all get? What do y'all think?
Well, I would say again, I'm not okay. You know, like I do believe and I do have faith that, you know, when it's time to happen, it's, you know, it's going to happen. And my door is definitely not closed to being married. It's not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say my door is closed, but I'm not doing, let me say this. I'm not doing anything for it to happen. I'm not dating. I don't go to happy hour. I don't go out on the weekend. But I think if I open that door and I began to go out and mingle the way that I would, then yes, I would be dating. I would maybe meet somebody, but I'm not even doing those things. I'm not even trying to take the time to do those things. But once I feel like it, once I think that I'm there and I'm mentally ready, because I think dating and getting to know people to be in that type of relationship with them, that's a mental capacity as well. You have to be here. If you're not here, it's not gonna go anywhere. But I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything to make it happen. You know, you guys might be, but I'm not. Y'all know I don't do nothing.
I'm not. I was like, I'm open to the relationship, but I don't date, so I don't know how that works. But I just don't like dating. It's exhausting. It's hard trying to get to know somebody new, and like you said, people playing games and they move quick. I move slow, they move quick. So
I think that's a thing of the millennium. People move very quickly. You know, you'll find somebody moving in with somebody after 3-4 months.
Right.
I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know.
Court me. Yeah.
When did you meet? Oh, how long y'all been together? Oh, we met in September.
Yes.
Y'all met in September and y'all already living together? And then wonder why it don't work. You know, most of the time he be needing somewhere to stay. You know what I mean? You know, y'all know kind of stuff that we're kind of the millennials are going through. But you know, it's, they say women out here playing those games too. I don't know any in my circle. I'm not aware of any women, but for the most part, you know, it's just you when you get to talking to her, and she started telling you stuff about him, you be like, he was scamming from he needed somewhere to stay. And he knew you was gonna let him. I think it should be a cycle. Then it's like a kind of catch-22, because then when I was dating, it was being told, it's like, you don't like me? And nothing like, no, I don't like you. I just don't move that fast. No, you can't come spend the night over here. No.
I'm glad you said that, Jamie, because I have had a few guys literally tell me I didn't like them because I wasn't calling them all the time, or I wasn't I wasn't being crazy, you know, over them. I'm like, give you your space. You know, I talk to you when I talk to you. We both got jobs, got stuff going on. I don't have to talk to you every 5 seconds. I ain't gotta, you know, drop by your house unannounced. I ain't gotta do none of those things. But they're like,
about here unannounced.
You must don't really like me, do you? Huh?
No, well, I would say this: if we're dating and that's an understanding, I'm big on this here in contact. Yeah, definitely. You can't be because that's to me that's a red flag if you ain't talking to somebody that's claiming they liking you. I don't like that. And it won't take too many times for me to call you or text you and you don't respond. You ain't liking me the way you claiming. Now the dropping up unannounced, that's definitely only should be giving rights to a person that you're in a relationship. Even then, you should
even then, nobody should be dropping by unannounced.
Yeah, even then, that should be skeptical. But if a relationship, like if I pop up on my boyfriend, I'm here with, you know what I mean. But the calling though, I'm too busy to answer your phone every 5 seconds. But I definitely can do a text message. I definitely can do that, and I definitely ought to be able to talk to you by the end of every night. Like, even if we go all day without talking, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Even if we go all day without talking, I'm busy, you busy. We go all day without talking. It should at least be at least a 5-minute phone call for somebody.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. If you're especially if you're in a committed relationship.
So I mean, I'm just basing this off the millennials and the things that we have going on. But men will, I have been told, I haven't been told about anything about the calling thing. But when it comes to the spending the night, because I cut my phone off and only favorites can get through. You can't call me after 7 o'clock. So if I ain't talk to you, if we just kind of just talking, getting to know, and you ain't call me before 7, you ain't gonna talk to me till the next day. That's just period. It's been like that for the last 2 or 3 years for me. But most of the time, that's what I was getting at first. The first go around when I decided to stay alone, I was calling you about 7:30. You go to bed that early? Yeah, I do. What was you doing all day before 7:30? What was you doing? I'm working like you. I'm doing like you. I sent you a text. Okay. I responded to your text. But what would you want? What's up? What you wanted last night? Oh yeah, I was gonna see if I come through. No. You see what I'm saying? I think everything has a phase. This phase, we talking to each other just about every day. We going and meeting up. We having, going to maybe a concert. Going to see a live band or something, we spend time, we go home, we separate, we go home, and then we do it again. After a while, then you can come over and I can cook. And you eat and then you take a turn and cook. I think it's phases of things, but then I was just running into, that's a bunch of bull back when everything, it's around about 2016, 2017. That's a bunch of bull. I don't know what you just want to go out. I ain't never been talking to nobody and I ain't been to their house, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I was getting. What about y'all? But Toy, you already answered. You said dude said you didn't like him.
but to go back on that though, this is somebody like you just met, not nobody you actually in a committed relationship. Okay. I'm talking about somebody you met yesterday, and like you said, they move fast. I'm like, I don't have to talk to you, every 5 seconds. Like that don't mean that I don't like you or I'm not interested in getting to know you. But it's just like I just met you yesterday. Like let it grow into whatever it's gonna be. And one thing I have learned about myself, that if I'm not calling you like that, I really don't like you like that. I have to notice that about myself. If you're somebody that I'm into, I can talk to you all day long. I can talk to you all day long.
And that goes for men and women.
Yeah, that's just my sign that I really don't like you like that, because
yeah, Toya needs to stay single for a minute. She ain't willing. She ain't dropping no mics. You gonna have to come. You don't want a date. You gonna have to, you gonna.
No, but one of my friends told me.
I'm saying I just ain't out there like that yet. Once I get out there, my door will open. Yes, I'm gonna call. I'm not gonna give you my number. I ain't gonna talk to you.
Yeah, but one of my friends had told me, they said, you know what? They had to ask me a few questions. They said, so when it's somebody that you really care about, do you have to actually think about calling them or checking in or saying goodnight? I said, no. They said, exactly. So you do those things for the guy that you're truly into like that. The other guys that you don't really think about, you ain't into them like that. That's why you don't think to call them throughout the day. You don't, because you're not thinking about them throughout the day.
Well, so it's like that for men too. Men do that too. If men,
it's just a sign to myself to know I don't really like him. So
okay. Well, I think, like I say, genuinely, as 3 women in the millennial, in the status that we're in, successful, working, independent, and whether or not we have hope for marriage, like I say, I'm open to it. I do want it to happen. I'm not lingering on it though. I'm not like, it's not. I'm not quite like that. I love to see it. I've seen it all my life. It's beautiful when it's beautiful. It's ugly when it's ugly. Right? If you've been able to see both, like Calandra said, you have healthy marriages, and then you have I think you have stable marriages, healthy marriages,
And toxic
open.
marriages.
Yes.
Marriages.
Yes.
Which I would like to have the healthy, grounded marriage and not the top. We just stand together because of the kids.
Right. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, no.
You see a lot.
It's a lot of that going around. A lot of people stay together for the kids, and as soon as that kid turn 18, a few weeks later, you like, oh, they getting a divorce.
Yeah.
So it was never genuine from the get-go.
Yeah, and I think they tend to think the kids is out of high school, so it ain't gonna affect them, and that is such a lie. You see college students, I've met them, you know, they mom and daddy, they'll tell you they divorced as soon as I went off to school, you know. So all that you and your husband or you and your wife did, thinking that y'all were doing it for the kids, it still end up affecting them. And I'm saying that because a lot of the reasons the couples are saying that because they are calling themselves protecting kids and not making sure the kids doesn't go through anything. But they still kids. They might be grown and out of high school, going off to school, but they still babies. You know, when you was 18, you was not. Everybody say you're grown when you're 18, but when you were 18 and you out of high school, people are still fixing your problems. People are still fixing your problems for a very long time. And so I don't know if it's better to do it now when it's happening or do it later. In the meantime, whatever's going on between you and the husband, the kids are seeing it anyway. Right? But I can't speak on those kind of things. I've never been married before, so let's continue. So you guys, we want you guys to come back and join us for our second episode. We are going to have a guest, another beautiful Black woman, single and unmarried. We're going to ask her some questions as well as let her ask us some random questions. I'll go ahead and I'll pass it over to Toya.
Until next time.
There is strength in sisterhood
And support in sisterhood.
Bye.
Bye.